Sound, a group of vibration. From the beginner to the professional, from the novice to the master, from playing around and experimenting things to create a masterpiece. These are all the elements of art. And our art on this show is sound. Hi, I'm L.V. Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. Now, you see by this cloth here, you would think we were going to be doing the Smile Lady show, who was the person who got me into going into production, TV production. Thank you very much. But it's not her show, it's mine. But what's nice about it, since I have a cloth, I have her. But before we go into that, I want you to meet the person that really was the mother I should have had, Dr. Mae Cowan. It's so great that you came. I cannot thank you enough for coming.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're the mother I should have had, but God bless my mother, but you're my mama.
Well, I'll still be your mother if you want one.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I got my sister from the other mister.
That's right.
And the thing is, I never had a sister in the family, and, you know, I had a brother, but it was not family. Smiles here, or I should say Dr. Deborah Johnson.
Thank you very much.
Made it so that I get to experience and learn more about womanhood and all the trials and tribulations that goes with it. Thank you, Smile Lady.
Thank
host
you,
of the Smile Lady Show, spreading a little joy over here on Sounds Within. I am so grateful that you were able to show up, but wait a minute. We got to find out how we got together here. And Dr. Mae Cowan here, I'm so excited, I can't say the name right. Somehow she's the guiding force that brought us together. Now, I've known her for over 20 years. It turns out it's the 20th year. She got me into Pacific Oaks College. And I had no idea I was going to be an elementary school teacher. I just said, it's just not going to happen. And this magnificent person, I cannot say that word enough, magnificent, made it so like, yes, you can, and what's stopping you? And I'm going to help you get it. You won't let me down. She brought us together. How long have you known Dr. Mae?
About 24.
Oh, you got me.
Years. My 32-year-old was about 7 years old at the time I first came in contact with Dr. Mae and her mentoring my child, not knowing she was going to be on my thesis committee at Pacific Oaks. Later, how it just crossed, and that's how we kind of connected and knew, we both knew Dr. Mae.
Wow, and we did not find this out until you brought her on
the show.
Your show, which is
Smile and Spread a Little Joy, and she was a joy to me, and I have no one on my show unless they have a smile to share.
And then your mouth drops. How do you know her?
Yes, I'm like, she's mine, you know. And then you said, no, she's mine. And we just kind of like, oh my gosh, that made me closer. You know, he was my brother from another, you know.
We didn't even know
anyway. But when he knew you and you mentored him, it just made our bond a little closer.
Now, we got to get to the star of this show here. You're a star here, Smile Lady.
No, this is the queen.
But we're going to interview the Nova.
Yes.
So, Doctor.
Yes.
Dr. Mae, we're going to ask the same old question. I love asking that question. What was the very first sound you ever remembered in life?
The very first sound that I remember came from the kitchen of our home in Alabama on the farm. My grandmother and aunts were in the kitchen. They were making the meal for the whole family, extended family. Everybody in the family, whether they lived in the same house or not, they ate food together. And they were making breakfast in the morning. And I remember the sound as well as the smell of cured ham, grits, homemade biscuits
With real butter.
with real butter that came from the cows. And it was just such a beautiful sound every morning to wake up to that, along with the smells. The first thing I remember about the sound is that some mornings, every morning practically, it was so pleasant with people laughing and talking, and I could hardly wait to get dressed and get into the kitchen so that I could be a part of it.
Wow.
But some mornings, I couldn't hear anything, and it seemed so sad. So I went into the kitchen, but instead of laughing and talking and singing, there was this sadness and this real desperation about the whole atmosphere. And I couldn't understand this, that some mornings were opposite of other mornings. It was several years later, because I listened to everything. You know, there was grown folks talk that you weren't supposed to hear. I particularly wanted to hear that. So I would listen without anybody knowing I was listening. And I finally discovered that those mornings when everything was so sad and there was so much just so much sadness and unhappiness in the air, those were the mornings that somebody had been lynched the night before.
Wow. Historical.
Oh.
Wow.
And one of the things I remember was that as I heard about this, I kind of understood, but I didn't really understand. And then I connected sounds that I heard during the night. These sounds were sounds of dogs, but it was different from the sounds of the dogs I heard when my grandfather and uncles went hunting. These sounds were very different. And I remember waking up crying and shaking and sometimes screaming, because I knew that the sound of the lynching was the sound that precipitated the sadness in the household.
Wow. In stereo. You know, we're going to have to come back right now, but we're going to have a little service PSAs, what we call them in TV land, and we're going to get back to the journey of Dr. Mae and her child prodigy. Tune right in, folks. Hi, I'm LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. This show comes on every Friday at 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. However, when I need to really have something to smile about, I tune in every Saturday, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. to watch Smile, Spread a Little Joy with Smile Lady, a.k.a. Dr. Deborah Johnson. So tune in then. See you then.
I'm Robert Margoliff. Join me in watching Dan Nicewander on The Now Man Show.
Hi, this is LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. Today we are honored to have Dr. Mae Cowan and one of her prize prodigies, Dr. Deborah Johnson, better known as the Smile Lady. Bring those teeth out. And we're here to honor our mentor, Dr. Mae Cowan, to us, affectionately call her Dr. Mae, or my mom. She's sharing something historical, which you will not hear in most schools unless you're going to, unfortunately, it has to be ethnocentric focus, but it should be taught because it is American history. So we're going to deviate from our usual thing in Sounds Within and learn more of the other Americana, but it's still Americana. And if it gets a little tense, well, sometimes truth hurts.
Hello.
And the only way we can free ourselves and truly be a great society, a great country, or whatever you want to call it, is by learning truths of all. Men, I must stress to you, it's very important that some of us indulge ourselves and learn some women's history.
Tell it, tell it.
We should learn, instead of, we get complacent and say everybody should learn English. Well, dang it, you know. The world's changing. Maybe we should learn Mandarin or Sichuan or whatever.
Yep.
Maybe it's good to learn what is Islam, what is Judaism,
Hello.
what are the virtues of being atheist, to speak truth. We are all connected.
Exactly.
Now, I don't like to stand on my pedestal, especially with a great mentor of mine who really encouraged me to come out. We're going to get back to her, Dr. Mae.
Yes.
Now, you were sharing pretty much the sounds, what you first remember, which starts a pleasant thing about the kitchen, where it was normally a joyous time, and then the very dark times. We won't go into deep details of lynching because I do encourage people to just look up the word and take some histories. Read Howard Zinn's first history book of Americas. I do not have the exact title in my mind, but Howard Zinn, Z-I-N-N. Learn about the real America. I'm going to get back to you. You were sharing pretty much those sounds. What motivated you to make a change, or did you decide then to make a change?
What motivated me to make a change was my wandering out in the fields among the corn stalks, and I would pretend that the corn silk was hair, and I would do little hairdos on the corn, and I just had a real charmed childhood as far as not having to answer to anything and just wander around and commune with nature. That was a real wonderful way to be a child.
Wow.
Now, what motivated me when I knew that I was going to be a teacher is I was out in the cornfields and I was playing around, and then it wasn't a voice I heard, but it was as if something within me spoke to me and said, "You're going to college and you're going to be a teacher."
Whoa.
I didn't know what to say or what to do. So I ran to the cotton fields where all the family and some other people who were hired as hands were chopping cotton. And I yelled out real excited, "You know what? I'm going to college and I'm going to be a teacher."
Yes.
Laughter rang out all through the cotton field.
They laughed at you, huh?
They
Wow.
thought it was the craziest thing they ever heard. And they said so. See, I told you not to run around without your sun hat on. The
Whoa.
sun's done baked this child's brain. And they kept on laughing. So the only refuge I had, I ran to the kitchen where my grandmother was starting to make dinner. We had dinner at 12 o'clock. I was not crying because I wasn't sad about what they said. I knew it was the truth. And I felt as if I know a truth and you don't.
Thank
and
you.
it's okay that you don't understand.
Thank you.
So I told my grandmother what had happened, and she picked me up and started going round and round as if shouting in church. And she said, "Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. I knew my child was going to be destined to do great things."
Yes.
And I didn't understand that, but I knew it made me feel so much better that she believed me, and she was very happy about what I had experienced.
I think
Wow, that's deep.
my sister from the other mister and I are very glad that you were able to testify to your grandmother what happened,
Yes.
and she received that calling right then and there
Yes,
from you.
right.
Yes. So, you got a calling, inner spirit calling, saying
Yes.
you were going to be not just a teacher, but an educator.
Yes.
And I'm sure there were some interesting ventures along that journey. Now,
Yes.
what then?
Well, we had one school that was built by the community because they did not build black children in the school.
Obviously.
The people in the community had to pool their money together, get the wood, the lumber, everything it took, and build a school, a little one-room school.
Right.
They also had to build a desk. And so I went to this school that was back of the AME church. And the first time I went, I was only 4 years old, because pretty soon after that, my grandfather decided that she's ready to go to school. She doesn't need to wait any longer. So they took me to school, and the very first day of school, the white nurse came out and gave me a vaccination. Well, I didn't know what a vaccination was. I thought maybe she was trying to kill me or something, sticking needles in my arm.
Right.
And I screamed and yelled, and the teacher held me down so that she could give me the vaccination. And after that day, I told my mother, who was my grandmother's daughter, that I wasn't going to that school anymore. And she tried to get me to talk about it, and tried to get me to go to school. And my grandfather said, if she doesn't want to go to school, she doesn't want to go to school. Just let her wait till she's ready to go to school. So I wandered around again, exploring everything for the rest of that year.
We're going to take one more little PSA to recharge ourselves to really in. Hi, I'm LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within, which comes on Fridays, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Hey, be sure you tune in and watch Thursday Night Live with Jeff Hodge, Thursday at 10 p.m. See you then.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start.
That's why we're here. We're free, handsome,
I think we're breathtaking.
and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that brand? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
Hi, folks. LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. It's not often we get to have a real legacy to share with our audience, so we're breaking all tradition with the usual Sounds Within with Dr. Mae Cowan, the mother I should have had, and my sister from the other Mr. Dr. Deborah Johnson, AKA Smile Lady. Today it is a time to learn, so we're getting right back into what was the importance of education back down south among the African American community. You were sharing before, Dr. Mae, be introduced to vaccinations at a young age and never explained why.
The first day of school.
First day of school. No one had a clue what was going to go on, and you were stabbed with those needles.
Yes.
So, what happened in elementary school after that?
Well, I decided that if I was going to school, it would be only till 12 o'clock because this lady with the needles had come in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So I figured if I left every day at 12 o'clock, I would have missed that. Mm-hmm. And so I would tell my mother, she would walk me to school every day. Mm-hmm. And I would tell her, now 12 o'clock, make sure you come and get me at 12 o'clock. And every day, she would come and get me at 12 o'clock for about 3 months. And then I got to liking school so much. And I told her, don't come and get me at 12 o'clock. I want to stay all day so that I can learn. And that was the beginning of my love of education.
Wow. So, what motivated you to finish school, not so much quit school, but to pursue learning in the later years?
Well, somehow I knew. Ever since I got this voice or whatever it was, I knew that when I got ready to do something, I would be able to do it, and nothing was going to stop me. I somehow knew that at that early age. So when I finished 6th grade, well, I skipped 2 grades in elementary school. So I finished elementary school at 10 years old.
Goodness.
And there was no other place to go except they had built a school 7 miles away for black children.
Right.
And 7 miles away, and my family was discussing how was I going to get there. And he said, wonder if she can ride a horse. I said, no, I don't want to ride a horse. So I said, I'll just walk.
You walk 7 miles.
And you have to think about 7 miles there and 7 miles back every day. And I thought, I could do this. This is what I need to do. This is what I'm going to do. And I lived about 2 miles from the house of the first child who went to this school. Her name was Mae Calloway. And so and she was older, so she became kind of my guide. And I would walk to her house, and then we would walk together to school. This was a school, it was amazing how this came to be. The school was finished just as I finished the elementary school.
Wow. That voice was true.
And when I went to this school, it was completely different from the elementary school that I attended. In the elementary school that I attended, that was one of the most amazing teachers I have ever seen or I will ever see. She taught the older children to teach the younger children how to read. And she taught the older children to teach the younger children how to do math and everything they had to do. My teacher name was Vera Lee. And to this day, I'll always remember her because she was a great teacher. She taught me what she had been taught, and it really worked out terrific. And pretty soon I got so excited about learning that I would study and read and study and read, and my grandfather, when he would gin the cotton, would bring back the books, used books that the white kids had discarded. He would bring the books back to the house, and I would go through the books that were ahead of where I was. So the teacher soon realized that I already knew all the stuff that she was teaching. So I skipped 2 grades in elementary school. So I ended up, when I was 10 years old, going to junior high. But there was no junior high to go to. Then I heard that this junior high had been built for African American children 7 miles away. And so I decided to walk. And I walked in the rain, in the sleet, in the ice.
We take for granted, as always back then, but here we're speaking to someone who lived this experience, and it hits very different.
Yes.
Now, since time is of the essence, this is not going to be one episode. This is going to be an ongoing legacy. So we're going to meet together, come back, continue the journey of Dr. Mae Cowan and how it's affected us and other people that were been touched by her. So we're going to come back for another episode of Sounds Within with Dr. Mae Cowan and Dr. Deborah Johnson, aka Smile Lady. So you just tune in next time. See you then. Hi, I'm L.V. Smith, host of the show Sounds Within, which comes on every Friday, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. When I'm not producing that show, I like to watch James Jones Jr.'s show, which is called Anybody Can Play Guitar, which comes on Fridays at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. See you then.
Hey, I'm James.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Jasper.
And together, we're Anna Lee and the Authorities. Come check out LV Smith's show on The Sound Within.